Hello, friends. Welcome to today's writing lesson. Today, we're going to be reviewing and going over subject-verb agreement, okay? And so when we think about subject and verb agreement, we have to think about what does singular and plural mean? So which picture do you think shows a singular noun, and which picture do you think shows a plural noun? Now, if you said this picture shows a plural noun, then you are correct. If you said this picture shows a singular noun, it is correct. When we think about the word singular, it means only one, right? It means one thing, one person, one object, one noun, right? So we see one cat here. When we think of the word plural, it means more than one, right? So in this picture, we see more than one cat because there are four. Okay, so remember singular and plural as we review how we use this in subject-verb agreement. So students are going to be able to determine subject-verb agreement by choosing the correct verb to complete the sentence. So let's talk about singular. Singular means one, right? Country, tree, you, cat, she, Mr. Martinez. These are all singular nouns, okay? Because they all name one person, place, or thing. When we think of the word plural, it means more than one, and we usually add s or es or and, right? Countries, cats, trees, them, Mr. Martinez, and Miss Hightower. So even though I'm naming two separate people, they're still talking about two people because they're combining them using Mr. Martinez and Miss Hightower, right? So singular means one, plural means more than one, okay? Nouns and verbs. So when we think about nouns, in English grammar, the verb must agree or match the noun. This means that if a noun is singular, the verb must be singular as well. If a noun is plural, the verb must also be plural, okay? And usually we can figure out if a noun is singular or plural. The trickier part is knowing which verb to use. So there are some rules when we think about subject-verb agreement. Rule number one, if the subject noun is singular, we will add an S to the verb, okay? So look at this. The dog, one dog is singular, walks down the street. The verb is walks, right? So when we identify the verb, I have to add an S because the noun is singular, okay? So because the noun is singular, I add an S to my verb. Rule number two, if the subject noun is plural, then we do not add an S. So now I've changed the word dog to dogs. I've made it a plural noun, right? Dogs means more than one. So I do not add an S to my verb. The dogs walk down the street, okay? If I said the dogs walks down the street, would that make the most sense? No, right? Rule number three, if the subject is I or you, so like I walk the dog every day, you walk the dog every day, that's still talking about one person, singular. So we do not add S to our verbs. I walk, you walk, okay? So as you think about subject-verb agreement, we have to add the S to, we do not, singular, we add an S. Plural, we do not add an S, and I and you, we don't add an S as well, okay? So I walk, you walk, okay? That's the exception to the rule. Even though it's singular, we do not have to add the S, okay? So we're gonna practice by looking here. It says, the girl. So which noun would agree with this verb? The girl. The girl paints. Do you see how I had to add an S? Because the girl is singular, right? If it's singular, then I add an S to my verb. The teachers. The teachers work. Teachers is plural, more than one teacher, so I do not add an S to my verb. They teach, right? They is plural, so I do not have to add an S to my verb. Miss Bennett, Singular, so do I add an S or do not add an S? I add an S because singular, we add S's. Miss Bennett hangs, right? My dad and I. Is that singular or plural? It's plural because I'm talking about my dad and I. I'm talking about two people, me and my dad, right? So do I add an S? No, because it's plural. My dad and I travel, okay? You're going to get some practice with today's skill by going into the Google form that I'm going to show you in just a second. So here you're going to find these two questions. You're going to select the verb that agrees with the sentence and with the noun. Okay, so you got to make sure you choose the correct noun. Do you add an S or do you not add an S? You're going to do that for this same one too. So you're going to do an independent practice, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk about your exit ticket. So see you in just a moment.